up the volume, let me spit these rhymes on the record ball. Tearing up the scene, got my YouTube channel. Grab a drink and pain, unleash it on like a beast untamed. Lock and load, I'm a lyrical assassin.
A video today, Steven Seagal movie. This one's from 1998. Haven't heard of this one much. It was before he wrote and produced most of his own movies, so it is a little more coherent than most of those. I'm doing Dr. Pepper with some blueberry vodka, and I've already tried one or two of these, and gives it a very dark berry Dr. Pepper, if you tried those. Taste not bad. Can get you in trouble if you're not careful, but I have my drink. I hope you have yours. And yeah, we're just gonna kind of get into this. Like a little light. I think it's pretty neat. Alright, anyways. So, something I don't think I'd ever thought I'd see happens in this movie, where Steven Seagal actually does some of his own work. At the beginning of the movie, he's a cowboy, apparently a doctor, and a vet, and him and another guy lasso a calf, and he gives it a shot. Oh, that's your jungle juice, the other guy says. So obviously it's some homemade stuff. So he ends up finding a horse that he had missing. It's a pony, tiny pony, for his daughter. And he ends up giving it the same shot. Like, he's just going around injecting all these animals with the same thing. And after that, there's kind of this glimpse of what's about to happen, with like a Waco standoff type thing.
Montana reaches its 52nd day with no end in sight. Federal authorities, in an effort to distance themselves from the Waco and Ruby Ridge fiascos, are still hoping for a peaceful resolution to the standoff, with a local militia group led by Floyd Chisholm, a neo-Nazi with a history of radical...
This happens. And yeah, so the neo-Nazi guy they're talking about ends up being the one of the brothers from the Ernest movies from the 80s. So he actually does a good job in this movie for the most part, surprisingly. He's a decent actor. I like him. He's funny. But his name is Gaylord Sartain.
What about these child-burning government stormtroopers who've sworn allegiance to the United Nations? Are they Americans? No! Hell no, they're not Americans!
So anyways, from there, Gaylord decides to just give up all of a sudden. So he walks out, hands up, they arrest him. FBI's there, all this other stuff, and instead of taking him to jail to await processing and...
Here I am! Here's your grand prize! Look toward me! Keep your hands where I can see it! Turn around! Turn around! Turn around all the way around! Underneath! Underneath!
all that stuff, court dates, and, you know, all the rigmarole that goes along with that. Dude just goes straight to court. They handcuff him, take him straight to the courthouse, and he is on trial. Like, it is just immediate. Dude is still in his camouflage gear from when he got arrested. So they just streamlined in this town of Wyoming, whatever it is. But yeah, they've got it down to a science. You're going straight to court and moving on. Like, I guess one's got to kind of respect that. But during the court scene, he ends up spitting on the judge, which I'll put a clip in here for you. If you don't like spit, don't watch this part. But
I want to tell you, the rest of these people in here, that the law of your land ain't the law of my land. I'd like to tell you something else, Judge Tompkins. I don't recognize this court. Hey!
there you go. Yeah. So that was like one of the nastiest things I've seen in a while. So, anyways, from there, Steven Seagal, Dr. Steven Seagal, thank you very much, gets a call from the CIA trying to recruit him for some quiet, hush-hush mission. And they tell him he's the world's most renowned immunologist. So he creates vaccines, we're led to believe at this point.
No. Once in a while I find a real cute heifer and have an affair.
Yeah, sure. Get back to your plastic beakers.
What?
Even though, like, every shot he's given so far has been the same yellow urine-like substance. So the doctor works on a barter system with the locals because he's just such a nice guy, old Stevie boy, that he'll trade his medicine for blueberry pies and fixing my cabinet. And just
How was school?
Good. What's that?
This is a pie. Molly baked it. It's for dessert. Dessert means after supper. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
How come you got some crust in your face?
I did not. You faked me out.
yeah, it's not great. So at this point, we kind of see the judge gets sick from the spit from the neo-Nazi guy. I'm going to keep calling him that because that's what they called him on the news. He has a name. It's like Floyd or Chester or something. He gets sick. He ends up in the hospital. Steve goes to the hospital because, of course, he's a doctor. Even though there's a hospital that he does not work at, they called him. So he goes in, looks at the judge, has no gloves on, no mask, no nothing. And he's just like opening dude's mouth, rubbing on him, touching on him. And then like calls the CIA like, we got a level 5 problem here, seal it off type.
God. 101 when we brought him in. It's up to 106. IV is established with sodium chloride. Patient is crashing.
Yeah, so they end up putting the entire town of Wyoming, whatever the fuck, into quarantine.
What's up? Sorry, sir. We've had to quarantine the area. Road's closed, so you'll have to return to Ennis.
So once it's in quarantine, everything's sealed off. Got the army around and gas masks and all that stuff. Alright, so at this point, after he sticks his hand in the sick judge's mouth and is at the hospital where there's a level 5 contagion. He drives home to his daughter that has not been in contact with any of these people and would not have the disease. And he's like, hey, like, touches on her and stuff. It's like, why? It's bad. It's pretty bad. And like I said, this is a different level because it's almost a cohesive story, but not quite. So, anyways, we figure out the bad guy, Gaylord Sartain, is sick from his own thing. He took an antitoxin apparently, but obviously is having issues. And he learns so from one of his loyalists. Comes into the jail and tells him that the antitoxin is basically useless. It just slows it down. It doesn't stop it.
As simple as that.
Listen, if every low-life son of a bitch in the world can get a dope in this damn cell, you can get me a shot.
Floyd, even if I could get it in here, it doesn't work. The antitoxin doesn't work. It slows it down, but it don't stop it.
So, anyways, the military starts vaccinating people. They're giving a bunch of people vaccines at the hospital. The bad guy makes him, the other bad guy, break him out of jail. And at the same time, they take over the hospital, shooting all the military people. And see how that goes. But they end up taking over the hospital just to find out that the vaccine that they're giving people is the same vaccine they have. So they're basically still up the creek without a paddle because now the entire town's getting sick. Except for Steven Seagal, his daughter, and his best friend. Everybody else is sick. Like even the CIA doctor that they send down there is sick. Everybody's sick. Steven Seagal's like touching in his mouth and flicking his tongue, but not sick. Okay. So after they take over the hospital, they find that Steven Seagal's daughter has an immunization or is immune to this disease, which is a level 5 biological weapon. But Steve's daughter is immune. Okay. And after they find out Steve's daughter is immune, they want to capture her and use a lot, quote, a lot of her blood to make a vaccine for everybody. But instead of letting that happen, Steve goes AWOL, takes a guy hostage with a knife, which the way he does it seems like the worst way possible. He's just like slapping it against the side of the guy's head, but
Floyd, this ain't gonna happen the way you think. No, yeah, it is.
I guess it's gonna be the hard way, you understand?
Damn it! Don't shoot!
anyways, after that, knocks the guy out and throws one of the worst punches I have ever seen in a movie. And with this punch, which is like throwing a wet noodle at somebody, but with this punch, the guy goes through a sheetrock wall and just like, it's just his feet sticking out. That's it. Just his feet. After that, he immediately grabs a hold of his daughter, throws a blanket around her, and jumps through a window, which is obviously not him, but we'll pretend for the moment. So after the window jump, him and his daughter end up getting away. They go to his house, load up horses, and decide to leave on horseback. Which, okay, kind of makes sense. Maybe they can't drive to follow you. But right about the time they're getting ready to leave, his best friend sees the loyalists on their way to try and capture him and his daughter, which ends up leading to one of the better scenes I've seen in the movie. Just kind of a cool death scene for a no-name character. So anyways, his best friend ends up hiding in the bushes, throws some dynamite, blows up behind one of the trucks, flips it over. But yeah, anyways, here's the clip. But the point got across. It was a good scene. So anyways, from there, Stephen and his best friend dies, by the way. But from there, Stephen takes his daughter and they go up in the mountains, and there's a Native American family there that turns out to be his daughter's grandpa. So I'm assuming his dad. So I guess we're going off the narrative at this point, like 45 minutes into the movie, that he's Native American. Okay. Not sure why, but that's where we're going with it. So anyways, he leaves his daughter with, I guess, his dad. It could have been his wife's parents. I don't know. I didn't pay close enough attention. So anyways, he leaves his daughter with his grandpa, takes this young woman that's half his age with him. Surprise, surprise. And she's also an immunologist. And they go riding out into the desert and find a secret bunker, which he knew was there because he printed off apparently it's a DARPA bunker, and he printed off an ID on a printer in the 90s. Yeah, and it worked for the most part. I mean, it didn't work because even if it was a good ID, it wouldn't have worked the way they did it, but technically it worked. But yeah, after doing some silly little slapping, he ends up taking over the bunker, going to his old office where he used to work for DARPA, and begins to cook meth. No, not really. They're cooking up a vaccine to this virus. So from there, it seems like he just basically experiments on these people with random different stuff, and most of them end up dead. In this bunker, soldiers, I guess, are just dying left and right. And it finally gets down to the last guy, and he's okay. And they're like, why? Oh, because he's drinking this tea that I'm giving him. Well, what's in the tea? Flowers. Yeah. There was a point earlier that I didn't mention, kind of on purpose. Steve's daughter talking to the grandpa about these flowers that are red medicine. That's what they're called. So apparently the girl he brought has been given this guy, one guy, red medicine in his tea. So she's basically just boiling flowers in the guy's tea. And it works. It's a level 5 anti-toxin. Yeah. That's what I said. Level 5 antitoxin is just red flowers. So, yeah, Steve ends up taking his daughter, going back to town, kills old Gaylord, and with, like, he breaks off the tip or the glass of a wine glass and kills him with the stem of it. It's a very odd choice, but a choice nonetheless. After that, we're treated to a nice little scene of how the army picks flowers. Enjoy. Alright, so after the army picks the flowers, apparently they put them in a helicopter to be transported back to town. Okay, get there quick, start boiling everybody some tea, I guess. Nope. These dudes just jettison the flowers out of like the engines of the helicopter as they're flying, like it's its own disease.
People of Enid, the standoff has ended. Your town is liberated. These flowers will stop the virus and are being dropped to everyone in the quarantined area. They will stop the virus if you...
And they're like, alright, here's your flowers. Everybody collect them and boil them and drink tea. Flower tea. This is your medication. You're welcome. And there's like a shot of the daughter with like a flower in her hair laughing. And that's the end of the movie.
Will stop the virus and are being dropped to everyone in the quarantine area. They will stop the virus if you act promptly. Collect them, boil them, and wait for medical teams that will be arriving shortly.
Make sure to like, subscribe. If you have any comments, leave them for me. I'm always listening. I appreciate you guys for watching. I am close to breaking 60 subscribers, so I appreciate each and every one of you. Hopefully you guys are enjoying what I'm doing here. I'm trying to do a little better every vid. And,
Lock and load, I'm a lyrical assassin. Rapid fire flow, hitting hard.